welcome to Rubyvale Road. I'm Alexandra, and in this video I'll be showing you some very quick and easy ways to DIY a belt. To start off with though, I thought I would just walk you through some of the available options that you can use to make yourself a belt. So all of these I just picked up from Spotlight. So to start off with, I found this great gorgeous little leopard print ribbon. So it's just a grey-green ribbon. The only thing with this is that it is only one-sided. So you'll see here it's got a plain beige side with the print only on one side. But to counteract that, I just cut two pieces of the ribbon and joined them together. Another option though, if you can, is finding ribbon which is double-sided. So this one is, I just bought this, it came on like a little cardboard packet, and as you can see it's got the stripes which is really gorgeous, and it's double-sided. So for that it was super easy. I actually really love this belt. I think it'll look really cool with a pair of jeans, white t-shirt. It's very classic, easy, with a pair of sneakers as well, and yeah, love the stripes. Very cool. If you're not really into the ribbons though, you can have a look at the tapes. So you've got polyester tape, which I picked up, this white polyester tape. It's got a little bit of texture to it and probably a little bit more body, but then the better quality of course would be cotton tape. So this is 100% cotton. Again, got a similar texture through it, and it's really nice and thick and got a bit of weight to it. So you can use these on their own of course, or if you wanted to make a double-sided belt with the cotton on one side, you can also pick up some ribbon and just top stitch these two together so that you've got the red on one side and the navy on the other side, which is really cool because again with the debuckles they do show both sides, so you can have that little bit of contrast, and yes, I think that's a great option as well. Otherwise, if you think that the ribbon is just a little bit too flimsy on its own, then you can also pick up some of the tape and just use that as a backing. Again, just top stitch them together and you've got that little bit of extra weight and thickness just to help support the belt. Then when it comes to debuckles, there are a few options for you. So as I showed you before, there's the matte black, very classic. Then there's also silver as well as gold debuckles, and they should come in all sorts of different sizes, so just of course make sure that you buy the corresponding size of debuckle to your ribbon. So this is a bit wider and thicker, so then we can have the wider and thicker debuckles. I must admit, these debuckles are a little bit small for this ribbon. It's not such the end of the world, it just means the ribbon sort of crawls a little bit over the edges, but it's fine. But this ribbon matches perfectly for the size of the debuckles and it works really well. So just have a really good hunt through your craft shop and see what you can find, what you can pick up. You can of course stick to ribbons and tapes if you prefer, or you might just want to do it in fabric. Belts are fantastic because they suit everybody. You can make them as gifts for men's, women's, absolutely everybody. So I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to Rubyvale Road for more sewing videos, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you so much and best wishes on all your sewing adventures. So to make the belt, obviously we're going to need to measure exactly where we want the belt to sit. So I've just got my favourite pair of jeans on, and all I'm going to do is take my tape measure just around where the belt loops are, where the waistband is of the jeans, and measure that. And then using the tape measure, you can sort of use it as a guide to see just how much excess you want to have with your belt. So if you like a really long tail which sort of hangs down, you can just sort of see where it's going to where you like it to be. I like my belt to be able to reach to the next belt loop and then not really hang too much. So I'm just going to go a little bit further, probably only like 5 centimeters extra from this belt loop here. So I'll just show you up close. So I've just got the tape measure, and then, so that would be 78 centimeters, and then just measuring on from this belt loop and seeing where it overlaps. So you sort of got like the center where it's meeting, and then the extra for the tail. So I would probably going to go probably 95. So just measuring that bit of extra so that it's fitting through that belt loop there, and then a little bit longer. And of course it's always better to be a little bit longer than shorter because you can cut it off if you're not 100% happy with the tail length. So altogether it's going to be 95 centimeters, and then of course we always need to add seam allowance. We're not going to need too much seam allowance on this, so I'm probably going to add about at least 6, I would say. So you've got 3 centimeters at each end to fold under. So I measured 95, so that means I'm going to cut at 101 centimeters. So first up, to make the really easy belt, you just got the ribbon, and then just using the measurement that you took around the top of your pants, so where your belt is going to be sitting, just measure out, just use your fingers like that and keeping it all nice and flat. I'm just going to measure out my measurement, which is 101 centimeters. cutting on the mark. You can use a little bit of chalk if you like to mark it to where you need to cut. So just taking our D-buckles then, we're just going to thread our ribbon through, and then you see the raw edge here, you just want to fold that under and then slide it as close as you can to the D-buckles, and then we're just going to pin that into place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch as close to that fold line as we can. Might need to be a little bit careful, the foot of the sewing machine doesn't quite fit in there, just stretch it out a little bit, that's fine. And then just stitch as close as you can to that fold and do a good little reverse stitch back and forth just so it's nice and strong. And then lay your belt out nice and flat, and then take this ribbon, we're going to feed this through here. And how the belt does up is it goes over one buckle and then under the second buckle. And then what we're going to do is just pin this in place here. We're just going to pin this in place, so what you're going to need to do is fold it under and then fold it under again so that there's no raw edge. It's a nice clean edge, and pin that in place. And what we're going to do is to sew it, again sew it as close as you can along that folded line. Don't need to keep the belt done up while you sew it, that's fine, but you just need to put it together so that you can see that this is going to be opposite. If you take it out, I'll show you this. You can see that the end is opposite, so the end is folded under the different way to that this end is folded. And so that's all you need to stitch, is just nice clean hem on one end, and then the ribbon folded over the two D-buckles together at the other end. So it's very easy, very straightforward. I promise you it'll probably take you like 2 minutes. And there we have it. I've just stitched that in place, so you can see there's a little line of stitching there, and just stitched as close to the fold as I could. Sorry, it's a bit hard to know which fold, not the fold here, but just this edge of the folded over fabric. And then here at the other end we've got the D-buckle sewn in place with our stitching, and that is just stitched with the, again, not this fold here, but this fold on the other side where the fabric has just been folded under to hide the raw edge. And that is literally all it is to sewing a D-buckle on and making a belt, which is nice and adjustable and very, very easy. So now for my leopard print belt, I've just cut 2 pieces of ribbon the same length. I'm just going to sew them together, and I'm just going to sew nice and close to the edge, just with the top stitch, just in black all the way along. So then I will have a great piece of double-sided leopard print. So there's the leopard print stitched together so that it is double-sided. So yes, as you can see here, I've just got a top stitch along each edge on both sides, and then just at the end here, all I did was folded in each end and just top stitch those together as well, so we've got a nice clean edge. I haven't stitched this together along this edge, as you can see it's still very raw and messy, so I'll just trim that up, clean it up. Then I'll just do the same as the striped ribbon. So again, we've got the 2 D-buckles, keeping them together, thread your ribbon through and fold under the raw edge, and then just stitch it in place as close as you can. So there's the D-buckle stitched in place nice and securely, and there's the end of the belt. So to do the belt up, just lay it out flat. You take this end, you put it through both D-buckles, and then you take the end and you put it over the first D-buckle and then under the second D-buckle, and pull that nice and tight. And there's your belt. It's really good, it's really firm, and it's adjustable, so it's very, very useful. This is my DIY little leopard print belt, and it probably cost under $10, which is fantastic. I'm very, very happy with that.